In a world where girls aren't afraid of mice, the long-awaited next installment in the Nancy Drew video game series was released to the public. But it sucked, so we're doing this instead.
Holmes!
You know, this is probably not the time to talk about it, but this seems like the ideal time for me to pull out my copy of Crimes and Punishments by Fyodor, what's his name? And, you know,
Holmes, will you stop?
actually read it. On another topic, hey everybody, and welcome to my Let's Play for Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishments. We are trying to get to Sherlock without getting shot. And we did.
Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone, then.
Alright, so, what's the button? It's R, yes. To put the perspective back to first-person view. And if you watch my walkthrough on Sherlock Holmes, The Devil's Daughter, this game plays exactly the same way. In fact, it's actually the game that came before that game. You can go around solving things using WASD to navigate. You can click to examine. Will A work? No.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
Alternatively, you could probably play this with a controller. If you want to check the key bindings and, like, actually use a controller, we can do that. Or not. I guess you can't play with a controller. I lied! Cool! Alrighty. You can press tab to view your notebook. It's here. There's the map. There's your evidence. Here's your documents. That's previous dialogue, souvenirs, echoes, and character portraits. Alrighty. Now we're gonna go ahead and just poke around a little bit more before we head out. We also have this still. Thank you for... Well, we have this that's new, but this is...
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
And then this.
This is where I keep my post.
That's mail. Alright, so we can go in here. And we still have our wardrobe, which I'm gonna open. And we're gonna change out of the morning gown into a casual suit. Then we're gonna come over here, and I want a top hat, so... Once I find it. That's obviously not it. Come on, where is it? Almost there. No, not quite. Come on, is this the last one? Oh, I missed it. What was it? I know. There it is! That took longer than it needed to. Alrighty. And... Alright, let's go. Hit the road. There's your encyclopedias. There's Mrs. Hudson.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
Ah, yada yada. Yeah, it's Dr. Watson's room. We can look at stuff. Or maybe there's something to look at. Ah, there's nothing to look at. Alrighty. Then let's not hit caps lock. Let's be on our way to Woodman's Lee. I forget if I cut these loading sequences out or left them in. I didn't realize that. I was just like sitting here silently on the loading screen without saying anything until it was a little too late to kind of remedy that situation.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
Yes, Lestrade will come. Or we can ignore Lestrade and actually look around using T to find things that others are inclined to overlook. Like apparently footprints, even though this guy's obviously looking at them.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
Can we measure them? No? Fine. No measuring for us.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Alrighty. Can I just ignore Lestrade and go straight inside? I'd like to. No? Fine. Oh yeah, very important. Hold shift to run. Or I think if you just put caps lock on, that will make you always run.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Alright, and just like Devil's Daughter, we gotta do the character portrait. And let's use the keys to navigate and then click on things. Thankfully, or maybe not thankfully because it makes it too easy, you only have to click on the things to figure out what she has. You do not need to make choices to determine the correct character portrait like they do in the next game. So, thank goodness for that. Oh, another downside is they don't pop up the character portrait so you can read it afterwards. Alrighty, talking.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Okay, so he was a drunk.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Just establish more of what we know.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
That's when she discovered it.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. We lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
Alrighty, do you have a gardener?
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
How do we know? Well, we know, I believe. These are a little easier to figure out. You can also check your evidence by hitting tab to see what there is to see. St. James, no idea what that means. Well-kept garden. Don't care about that. Is it over? No. Well, the only evidence that makes sense is this one.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
Cool. And now... oh, so I'll run. I forgot. I was like, why are you running? And I wasn't pressing shift. Nope, it's because I left caps lock on. Alright, now.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
Very good. Let's take a peek inside.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Appreciate it.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
You're not gonna auto-see. I have to see for you. Yep, this is forced, alright. Someone tried to use a tool or something.
These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
That also works. Alright, can we go inside now? Yes, we can.
What a terrible way to die.
Harpoon to death. Yeah. What a lovely thought. Not. Okay, at the shelf is what we want to care about. Because there's a suspicious empty space. And an outline in the dust.
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book. A box or a small chest, perhaps.
Okay.
The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Excellent. And I'm gonna hit caps lock again to go back to normal walking. Normal walking is best when you're inside investigating. The running is more useful when you're trying to get from two places quickly. I don't think I need to explain that, honestly. Anyway, in here, we have this.
Old navigation instruments. Nothing interesting.
And that alcohol's not interesting to you? Okay.
Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8.
Cool. And we can use that on the footprints outside. I will do that in a minute.
For hunting whales.
I'm gonna check everything here
The
first.
ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
And that's when you see the question mark, that's an object of interest. You need to deal with it later. But later's not now, so let's keep looking.
Someone drank from this glass recently.
Same for that one. Alrighty. And we got this.
The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
I kind of click past the tutorial message quickly, but if you hold right click to rotate, you can see other sides of the object. And this game actually uses this feature right, and doesn't only use it for like 2 objects like Midnight Salem did. There's a lot you can rotate and have benefit from here in this game. I am going to really enjoy playing this, let me tell you that now.
This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
This thing is stupid, and I don't like this mechanic at all. I don't like to be negative about this game because, you know, I do actually like it a lot, but the sound effects are cool, but I hate this mechanic. I hate it. Hate. Because there's a lot of these, you know, you gotta put them together to form some sort of stupid picture. And they are not fun. Not fun. Not fun at all. Are you movable? You're not. You're movable and you're movable. Only 2 movable doohickeys. Oh, wait. Oh, I thought that was something else. Okay. So let's see. If we do it like that... I'm trying to see. I can't tell if the solution I'm looking at is the right one or not. There's gotta be more pieces I can move than just those, right? No? Guess no. A lot of those pieces kind of connect there. But that's about it. Okay. So the tobacco thing, I can talk you through this easier than I can solve it, believe it or not. The tobacco thing goes at the front of the ship, kind of to line up. Let's see here. If we do that, then the tobacco thing kind of lines up on its own. And then this one, I think you can just slide into place like that.
Yes. This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors.
I like how I say I can talk you through this easier than I can solve it, and then I immediately solve it once I start talking about it.
Rum, a sailor's drink. It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
Or was just lying there the whole time. No, there's evidence to contradict that. Alright. Now let's look at this.
The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense.
Now we can
This
look at
man
his
is in
face.
his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer.
And if we go look here, we can see the pool of blood all the way from up here. Okay. There's a knife. So possibly tried to defend him. I hate when notifications on the desktop decide to interrupt my game, and now I'm worried that the first part of this episode didn't record.
This wooden handle is plain and solid.
And then
This
this.
blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
I was gonna hypothesize that myself before I was interrupted by my computer being a jerk. What's this?
JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook.
I know that. I was gonna try and see this.
The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey.
Alright, let's take a look inside, and we have numbers and abbreviations and stuff.
These abbreviations mean something, but what?
I like the way it was all like, but what? What? Ah, deduction land is back. Is there anything else I can look at here?
Peter
This.
Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
Cool. Yep, so if you have B at any time in the game, you get taken to this lovely little room where you can click on one thing and try and begin to form deductions with it. And this is probably the only deduction we can do at this time, which is gives you a task to do.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
Alright. And one thing we can do also is we can come over here to the footprint and check to see if the boot fits. Do it manually, apparently.
These boots don't match the footprints.
They sure don't. So we're gonna have to come back and try again once we have something that does. Oh, by the way, whenever you see that little loading circle at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, that's an autosave. This game introduced me to autosaves and kind of made me hate them. But it also has the best autosave mechanic, to my knowledge, of any other
The
game.
Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
Because this game actually... I thought I didn't save enough like when I was first playing Devil's Daughter, but I came to realize it actually does save more frequently than a lot of other games with the autosave mechanic. Like, it just saved right there. How about that?
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
Ambush time! No, not yet, apparently. What, do you want me to investigate more first, game? I highly doubt there's actually something left to investigate. I'll just do a quick one-over to check. And yeah, so we can probably... Well, we might be able to question the lady real quickly about one more thing. And there's also, I mean, the stuff over here, it's kind of irrelevant to the crime, but we can look around and see what we see. Talking first. Loading. 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 Thank you.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
And last...
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Thank you, madam.
Cool. And I probably should have stopped right before the autosave like did it when it logged the cabin, because now I think we're gonna be done for this first episode. So next time on Sherlock Holmes: The Devil's Daughter, it'll be ambushing time. See you guys then.